Hi guys, it's Brandy4. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Please support your girl Brandy4. So today I am going to be just doing my bedtime routine for the most part. It's nothing too out of the ordinary. If you haven't seen my skincare routine video, go see that. I'm pretty much doing the same things from that video, and I'll let you know what I use differently as I'm talking. But basically, I wanted to just talk to you about living in New York City, especially at a time like this. So my situation is I graduated from college over a year ago. It's August 2020 now. I graduated May 2019. And so once you graduate, you're kind of just like, now what? You don't really have that freedom anymore since most people, just like myself, they moved back to living with their parents. In my case, I'm living with my mom, my grandparents, my brother, and now my sister and my nephew, now that the whole COVID situation is happening. So it's like a whole full house. It's just, whereas like last year, although I was living with 3 other girls, I had my own space for the most part. I wasn't really talking to them like that, so I had privacy most of the time. So it's definitely a change. It's definitely something that I had to get used to, especially right after, graduating. It's not that I'm not used to it now. Like, it's been well over a year, so I'm used to it. So in my skincare video, I was using Derma E serum. So this time I'm going to use the FENTY Skin Purifying Toner Serum. If you guys want a review on that, please comment below and let me know, because I'd be down, honestly. Thing is, that's kind of bothering me in terms of living back at home. For me, it's the location. When you're in New York City, you want to be, well, for me anyways, if you are one of those New Yorkers who just love to explore anything and everything in the city, you want to be where everyone is. I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing. In my case, I live in the boondocks. I live in Canarsie, Brooklyn. It's very, 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 very in the cut, to say the least. I don't have a car. I don't have my license. I'm working on that, but I don't have my license. I don't have a car, so it's just hard for me to get to places where I want to be because I have to rely on the L train. And then on top of that, most of my friends, they either live in the more populated areas, the more poppin' areas like Bushwick, Crown Heights, Flatbush, or in other boroughs, and ain't nobody got time to go all the way to the Bronx to see my friends. Unfortunately, no, I can't do that. But yeah, so things like that are just very annoying, and I must say it's kind of detrimental to my mental health because it's hard for me. It's hard to not be bothered by those little things, especially comparing to college when your friends, well, state college per se, like your friends are just a bus ride away, or your friends are just down the hall if you live in a dorm. It's just different. It's different. It's something to get. I used to go to high school on Wall Street, and I never necessarily had a problem with like taking the train everywhere because that was just a part of me. In a way, I just ended up getting used to commuting everywhere. And then plus, since my school, all my friends, they lived in different neighborhoods, different boroughs, so the one place that we would always meet up would be in the city in Manhattan. So everything was just a lot easier in high school. It's annoying because that's like the only way I can even compare that my New York experience is like the experience I had when I was younger back in high school till post-graduation, graduating college. It's insane that although in high school I had less freedom since I was younger, and plus I was not legal age, so I had less freedoms, but at the same time I feel like I had more fun in New York in high school than I do now, and it's very frustrating like this. So this is a good video for people who are thinking about moving to a big city like New York City. You have to take these things into consideration. It gets very lonely out here. Even if you've been living here all your life, it gets lonely. It gets pretty lonely, especially now during COVID-19 where you have to quarantine, especially if you're living with your family members, older family members. It's like you have to quarantine, so you just feel even more isolated from everything. And then plus, if you live far from everything, if you live in a neighborhood that's just in the cut, not near the poppin' areas, it's even more frustrating, and it does get a little depressing. And it's just very frustrating because most of my close friends now, they live out of state, and it's so unfortunate because they live from like 2 hours away to like a whole flight away. It's very frustrating, but we make it work on FaceTime, I guess. But it's still like, I would love to just be able to visit my friend like tomorrow, or go out to eat with my friend like right now. So yeah, these days I've just been looking for an apartment, I've kind of been apartment hunting, trying my best to start using sunscreen more. So I'm using Olay Brightening and Protecting Lotion with sunscreen. I've just been apartment hunting because I'm fortunately still employed right now, so I'm just taking it day by day. I did tell myself that I wanted to move out next March 2021, the latest. These days it's just like, dang, like I'm trying to move out December 2020 the latest now, because it's just hard. It's so hard living in the city, especially at a time like this. And it's annoying because obviously there are not that much things happening right now, even though there will forever be something happening in New York. However, not as much is happening nowadays. Things are closing at like 11 p.m. the latest. It's crazy now because of COVID. I'm kind of just ready to be able to have my own space, along with being in a much better neighborhood than Canarsie. Oh, by the way, apologies for this mark on my face. Last week / this week's period week, and the way that, do y'all ever just get period pimples that are just so large and in charge to the extreme, and they just refuse to go away even if you try to pop it? Like I tried to pop it, nothing came out, so now I just have this big old mark on my face. But don't worry, I'm gonna put honey on it and it'll go away in like 2 days. I've been apartment hunting and, you know, living in PA, and I actually lived in off-campus housing for like sophomore year and senior year. Yeah, college definitely spoils you to the extreme as far as expectations on what you want your apartment or any type of housing to look like. It's very frustrating. Like for instance, in State College, they have some housing that you can have your own bedroom plus your own bathroom. Like that's ideal. If I were to have like 2 other roommates and I had my own bathroom, I would not care. Because honestly, I would love to have my own bathroom anywhere. I think that's very important to have your own bathroom. I would rather not share my bathroom with anyone. I would love to have my own space, my own walk-in closet, anything like that. You know me, stupid Brandy. I'm just like, I could find that in New York as well. My expectations are unfortunately super high for literally no reason, because that's not happening in New York. It's so sad. It's like, it's not happening in New York. And I don't know if you guys watch this girl, Kelly Stamps. She's like my favorite YouTuber these days, because like her YouTube is just popping. And so she had mentioned that she had moved to New York, and she mentioned that she found an apartment off Craigslist. So I was like, you know what? It doesn't hurt. Let me go try Craigslist. Because Craigslist is a hit or miss for anything. I was like, you know what? Let me try Craigslist, see if I'm gonna find anything within my budget. Because, you know, although I graduated and I'm employed or whatever, your girl still got that entry level salary. So I'm still trying to find an apartment that can, still trying to find an apartment that I can afford and that won't break my bank. Like, I've been saving for this for, I guess, over a year now. I'm like 1 month from being at my goal. So I'm just like, you know what, might as well, let me just try to find things. However, I still want to be very cheap, like as cheap as possible, but also I have expensive tastes, so it's very hard. It's so hard to have expensive tastes in New York and also be cheap at the same time. It doesn't work out. So yeah, so I decided to apply to like 2 apartments on Craigslist. There were 2 listings that was like, oh yeah, $800 for rent, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, unfurnished. I was like, oh my gosh, I found the perfect place. You know, if y'all are on Twitter, you always see people like posting about, I finally got my own apartment, and they're like in Houston, Texas, and you know, it's those same apartments, those white cabinets, it just looks expensive, like an expensive apartment. Or I guess you could say an average apartment that's not in New York City. So I'm like, okay, I found that on Craigslist. I was like, yes. I showed my older sisters. They were like, that is too good to be true, Brandy. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you need to calm down. Like, I found the apartment. I'm about to move out like right now. Ciao. So the guy emails me back. One of the guys emailed me back, and it was just like, hey, so me and my wife, we just moved to Utah, and we are trying to be very generous, and we want to gift this person with this awesome space with this very low price. And I'm like, okay, so when can I see the apartment? They're like, well, we're not in New York City right now, but I can send you the key, and all you have to do is just pay $800 flat right now, and if you don't like it, we can return that $800 to you. I'm like, okay, but like, can I see the apartment first? Like, I'm not about to pay you and then he was like, oh well, sign this contract real quick. First sign this contract, then pay me $800, then I'll send you the key, and then if you don't like it, I will give your money back. I'm like, what? That was through email. I was just like, bruh, I'm not paying $800 to see an apartment and then not like it and not get my money back. And then another guy, he literally did the same thing, and this time he actually called me, and he just sounded very unprofessional. I was just like, bruh, I'm not paying you anything until I see that apartment. I'm not signing nothing. I'm not paying you anything until I see an apartment. And he was like, well, actually, that's the only way you would be able to get this apartment. Literally on the phone, I'm like, well, I don't think, man hung up on me. I was like, yeah, so lesson learned. I'm not getting a 1-bedroom of my liking anytime soon. Not until I get that promotion. That's where I am right now as far as apartment hunting. But it's August. I said December the earliest, March the latest. So I still have lots of time. And plus, although I'm about to reach my goal financially, I would like to save a little bit more just to have extra money as well. So I'm trying my best to just do that. Oh, by the way, I'm using the Cream of Nature Argan Oil Twist and Curl Pudding just to moisturize my hair. I'm doing like a 4 braid out. It just sucks. College really, especially college out of state, out of New York State, it just gives you very high expectations, or just different expectations of what apartment hunting / apartment life is. Cause in New York, reality, you're not gonna have a newly renovated apartment. Like, that's just not gonna happen unless you're very lucky. Like, that's never happens. Well, it happens, but like, it's like $1,900 of rent, like $2,000 a month rent. For me, like, my best bet is to have 2 to 3 roommates, and it's very annoying because I don't want to live with people. So no more Craigslist as far as looking for apartments. I'm just gonna have to stick to my apartments.com. I don't want to, and it's crazy because I don't want to go anywhere else. It's like, although I have friends everywhere else and DC is popping and other places are way cheaper than New York, I don't want to go anywhere else because I feel like there is just so much more that I haven't explored in the city yet. There's so much more that I want to do in the city before I say, okay, yeah, I want to leave. And then also, I just love having options, always having options in the city. And I feel like, yes, although I still have that now in Canarsie, I want the options to be right across the street from me or 30 minutes away on the train from me. I don't want it to be a whole hour and a half on the train. Like, I want my options to be close as possible. So yeah, it's like, of course I'm always considering like, maybe I should go to DC, maybe I should go to PA, blah blah blah, because all my friends are there. However, I'm just, nothing is really like convincing me to leave. I don't want to leave, and that's the annoying part, because it's like, you hear that New York is kind of going downhill now, especially since COVID. Like, all the gentrifiers are starting to move out, so rent is probably gonna go down real soon. So yeah, let's fingers crossed on that one. But yeah, they can go. I'm not leaving. I just don't want to leave. The city is just too special to me. New York is really something different, especially after going away to college. I didn't realize how much I loved New York until after I left to go to college. I didn't realize how great and how special the city was to me until after I left. And some people, they're like, when they go back home, they're like, this isn't for me. But yeah, I don't have that feeling at all. I feel like I love the city even more. And I wish, even in high school, even though I was doing more than I'm doing now, I wish I appreciated it even more then. So it's just, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's just a random story time. I just wanted to tell you guys what I was going through post-college / just living here in the city. But if I were to give any of y'all some advice, if you were to live or if you wanted to move to New York City, please just be prepared for the fact that it may get lonely. Be prepared, but also you just have to force yourself to leave the house and go places by yourself, because if you don't go and explore on your own, then you're just gonna you're gonna be waiting forever. And who knows, even if you start exploring and going to different places on your own, you'll meet someone or meet people, and then that's how you make friends. That's definitely what I've learned. So there's that. And also, if you're trying to apartment hunt in New York and you're 23 and you have an entry-level job like moi, don't expect no luxury apartments for $800 a month, because that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Yeah, expect to have roommates, expect to live with roommates. Unless you're extremely lucky, then God be with you, and let me know what you did to do that. But yeah, that's my advice. But I would recommend, I don't know, people don't want to move to New York because of how expensive it is, and that makes sense. But I wouldn't live anywhere else. I just don't see myself living anywhere else. So yeah, I know I didn't even finish my hair or whatnot, but I just want to tell you what's going on. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment below your thoughts on whatever I said, and your thoughts on just like post-graduation. If you're feeling the same way, just let me know, because you're not alone. Like, we are really in this stuff together, honestly. We are all dealing with the same stuff right now, and it gets hard, but I have hope that it will get better soon. So yeah, and make sure you subscribe. See ya.